Very good morning, students. Today, in today's class, we are going to discuss about the different types of financial mathematical functions. And in the yesterday's class, we have already gone through different types of statistical, text, and logical functions. What are the functions of which come under the statistical, text, and logical functions in details we have seen in the yesterday's class. So in today's class, we are going to deal with the financial continuation of the function, that is financial and mathematic functions. Now let us go to the actual slide. Now, this is a financial function. Now what are the financial functions you have in a Excel application is PMT, rate, PV, FV, IPMT, PPMT, IRR, XIRR, NPV, XNPV. So these are the students, this is the financial functions present in the Excel application. So what is this PMT? It calculates loan repayments based on constant payments and a constant interest rate. Okay. Next, rate returns the interest rate per period of a loan or investment. It returns the interest rate. It is used for calculating the rate of interest for the loan taken. Next is the PV. It returns the present value of an investment based on a constant interest rate and payments. Next is FV, returns the future value of an investment based on a constant interest rate and based on constant payments and a constant interest rate. Next, IPMT calculates the interest paid during a period of a loan or investment. Next is PPMT, calculates the principal payment made in a period of an investment. Next, IRR returns the internal rate of return on a series of regular investments. XIRR returns the internal rate of return on a series of irregular repayments on an investment. Next is NPV, returns the net present value of an investment based on a series of cash flows and a discount rate. So next financial function is XNPV, returns the net present value of an investment based on a series of cash flows, the dates of the cash flows and the discount rate. Okay, students, these are the list of all the financial functions existing in the Excel application. Now let us go to the next slide. That is in this slide, it is giving the details of one of the financial function is PMT. What is PMT? And taking an example, he is explaining how he is calculating the payment for a loan based on constant payments and constant interest rate. The PMT function in Excel calculates the payment of a loan based on constant payments and a constant interest rate. We consider a loan with monthly payments, an annual interest rate of 6%, a 20-year duration, a present value PV means present value of $1,50,000 and a future value of 0. Okay, amount borrowed. We make monthly payments, so we use 6% per year, that is 0.5% for rate, and 20 into 12 to 40 for N per total number of periods. That is total number of periods is 20 year duration, 20 into 12, that is per year 12 months. Okay. If we make annual payments on the same loan, we use 6% for rate and 20 for N per. Now see here in the sheet, here down he has taken the sheet and explained how PMT is calculated. Select cell A2 and insert PMT function. Now he is saying to select the cell A2 and insert the PMT function. Okay, and here in the B2 column, rate is 0.50%, and in C2 column, N per, that is number of periods is 240, and PV, present value, payment value, how much you are paying, that is nothing but a $1,50,000, and future value is 0. Okay, this is a PMT, syntax of PMT. Okay, rate comma N per PV FV type. Now let us go to the next slide. Here, the continuation of the PMT function. He is saying in the note, the last two arguments are optional. For loans, FE can be admitted. Okay, the result will be the monthly payment equals to $1,074.65. So when you insert these values into this one, okay, when you take the PMT function, it is giving the output that is $1,074.65. Here the rate will be 0.50%, N per 240 PV, $1,50,000 FV 0. If rate is the only unknown variable, we can use the rate function to calculate the interest rate. No. Next, PMT rate N per PV FV. Okay. See, he is showing if rate is only unknown variable, we can use the rate function to calculate the interest rate. Now let us go to the next slide. Next is the next function of financial function is PV, that is present value function. If we make monthly payments of $1,074.65 on a 20-year loan with an annual interest rate of 6%, how much can we borrow? Okay, let us see that present value. How to calculate the present value? Here, PMT is $1,074.65. Rate is 50%, 0.50%. Number of periods 240. So PV will be $1,50,000 and future value will be 0. Now, let us come to the next function is FV, and we finish this FV, that is future value function. If we make monthly payments of $1,074.65 on a 20-year loan with an annual interest rate of 6%, how much do we pay off this loan? Do we pay off this loan? Yes, we can pay off this. Then that is nothing but the future value will be zero. That is you can pay completely the loan. That is FV function. PMT is $1,074.65, rate 0.50%, N per 240, PV $1,50,000, future value will be 0. So these are the financial functions. We have present value and future value. And before in the slide we have seen what is rate and PMT function. Okay, it calculates loan repayment based on constant payments and a constant interest rate. Now let us go to the next function of financial, that is IPMT. So IPMT function calculates the interest interest part of the payment. Okay, so it is IPMT. Okay, interest part of the payment. Here annual interest rate is 5.00%, years is 2, and then payments per year is 12, amount is $20,000, payment number is 1, payment $877.43, principal is $794.09, interest $83.33. Okay, and next function is, that is PPMT function, to calculate the principal part of the payment. Before we have seen interest part of the payment. It is this function to calculate the interest part of the payment. Here principal part of the payment, how much monthly you have to pay. Principal is how much monthly you have to pay for the loan you have taken. Now annual interest rate is 5.00%, years is 2, payments per year is 12, amount $20,000. Okay, payment number, payment, principal, interest. So students, these are the other financial functions we have seen in this slide. Let us go to the next slide, that is IRR. This is one of the again financial function. Use the IRR function in Excel to calculate a project's internal rate of return. That is internal rate of return of a project. The internal rate of return is the discount rate that makes the net present value equal to 0. For example, project A requires an initial investment of $100, cell B5. We expect a profit of $0 at the end of the first period, a profit of $0 at the end of the second period, and a profit of $152.09 at the end of the third period. Okay, so this is how he is showing project A discount rate, period, cash flow 10%. Cash flow is here. So this is a one of the one of the financial function Excel application. Now let us go to the next slide is NPV formula. That is NPV function. To calculate the present value of a series of future cash flows and subtract the initial investment. How the flow of cash will be there? That is future cash flows and subtract the initial investment. Project A discount rate period 0, 1, 2, 3, 10%. Project A discount rate is 10%. Cash flow 100 minus 100 00 152.09. Okay, net present value is $14.27. Okay, let us go to the next slide is XIRR. Now, extended internal rate of return is a measure of return used when multiple investments are made in a financial instrument. That is this is syntax XIR IRR bracket open values comma dates comma guess. Okay. Now values he is explaining this is the array of values that represents a series of cash flow. Then instead of an array it can be a reference to a range of cells containing values, dates. This is a series of dates that corresponds to the given value. Subsequent date should be later than the first date, as the first date is the start date and the subsequent dates are future dates of outgoing payments or income. Next is guess, optional argument. This is an initial guess or estimate of what the IRR will be. Okay. Now, example of XIRR. Suppose a project started on January 1st, 2018. The project gives us cash flows in the middle of the first year, after 6 months, then at the end of 1.5 years, 2 years, 3.5 years, and annually thereafter. The data given is shown below. Now, let us see in the next slide. See here the date, series of dates, cash flow. Okay, then he has applied the formula here XIRR C5 colon C10 comma B5 colon B10. We will leave the guess as blank. So Excel takes the default value of 10%. So we get the result is 20%. So XIR value is output is 20%. Now let us go to the next slide, NPV function. It is one of the financial function of Excel application. Now what is this Excel NPV function? Is a financial function that calculates the net present value of an investment using a discount rate and a series of future cash flows. Now what is the syntax of NPV? NPV in the brackets rate comma value 1 comma value 2. Okay. So he is taking an example here. See here the periods are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and we have cash flow here minus 800, 100, 200, 300, 4, 5. Then net present value is $265.26. Okay, NPV value. Required return is 10%. Okay, so this is a NPV value we are getting in the example. Now let us go to the next function is PV formula for net present value. Okay, to calculate NPV you can use the NPV function here F4 comma C6 colon up to C10 plus C5. Okay, NPV brackets open F4 comma C6 colon C10 plus C5. So let us come to the next slide. Next is the XNPV function. Okay, the XNPV function in Excel uses specific dates that corresponds to each cash flow being discounted in the series, whereas the regular NPV function automatically assumes all the time periods are equal. Okay. Now let us see XNPV. That is a syntax here. Rate, comma, cash flows, comma, dates of cash flow. Okay. Now let us go to the next slide. Here it is giving the, it is explaining the uh, that is the arguments of, that is XNPV. That is XNPV syntax. Arguments, rate, cash flow. In the next slide, what is this rate? The discount rate to be used over the length of the period. Values, this is an array of numeric values that represent the payments and income. Next, dates, an array of dates corresponds to an array of payments. Okay, the date array should be of the same length as the values array. So example of XNPV function in Excel is, for example, that is nothing but a, here I has taken the discount rate is 10%, the start date is June 30, 2018. Cash flows are received on the exact date they correspond to the time between the start time, and first cash flow is only 6 months. Okay. Now, so this is about the XNPV function. Now let us go to the next slide. So next slide, it is giving the that is nothing but the example of XNPV shown in the sheet Excel application. Okay, discount rate is 10%, dates, undiscounted cash flow, XNPV, regular NPV. Okay, so this is a regular NPV value. So this is the value return. Based on the above, XNPV formula produces a value dollar 7,72,830.7, while the regular NPV formula produces a value of dollar 670, that is 6,70,316.4. The reason for this difference is that XNPV recognizes that the time period between the start date and the first cash flow is only 6 months, while the NPV function treats it as a full time period. Now let us go to the next slide is, so here this is the last function of financial functions which supports business people. Okay, statistical, it is used for calculations. Okay, now let us go to the next slide is mathematical functions. Now students, these are the list of mathematical functions that we can see in the Excel applications. Okay, what are the list of mathematical functions that we can see in Excel application is, that is nothing but a sum, sum if s, sum product, round, round up, round down, ceiling, flow. So what is this sum function? Sum adds up all the values in a range. Now what will happen? It is giving the total of all the values that are existing in the series of, that is range, that is cells, series of cells. It gives the output. Okay, manually sometimes there will be large number of values that are entered in the cell which cannot be done manually. So Excel application provides a very good mathematical function is sum function, through which we can add all the values in the existing cell, group of existing cells, large cells. Okay students, now next mathematical function is sum if adds all the values in a range that meet specific criteria. It, it checks for this condition. If the condition is true, then it adds all the values in a range. Next, sum if s adds values in a range based on the multiple criteria. Okay, here the range that meets specific criteria, it is multiple criteria. Next, sum product, sum a range of cells that meet multiple criteria. Round, round a number to a specified number of digits. Round a number to a specified number of digits. Next, round up, round a number up to a specified number of digits. Okay, rounding means it is nothing but removing the decimal points in a number. Rounding down rounds a number down to a specified number of digits. Next function, mathematical function, is ceiling. Okay, round a number up to a multiple of significance. Next is floor, round a number down to a multiple of significance. Up to a multiple of significance, down to a multiple of significance. Now let us go to the next slide, is sum function. Now we have seen what are the mathematical functions. Now in the next slide we see in detail what is the syntax of the function, individual functions, what for they are used, with some examples. Now sum function adds all numbers in a range of cells and returns the result. So here the syntax of sum function is, it is nothing but a sum number 1 comma number 2 up to number n, or sum of cell 1 colon cell 2 comma cell 3 colon cell 4 comma up to cell n. Now let us go to the next slide. Here it is showing the example of sum function. Now what is happening? See students, here in A2 the value is 10.5, A3 7.2, A4 200, A5 5.4, A6 8.1. Now here in C2 what he is doing? He is entering the sum function, that is, it is C. In the formula bar you can see equal to sum, open the brackets, that is A2 colon A2 to A2 comma A3. Now what is happening here? When you say A2 comma A3, he is only taking A2 value and A3 value and giving the output of A2 and A3 is 17.7. See here. So this is the sum function, example of sum function. The same is shown in the below. Here see A3 comma A5 comma 45. What is happening? He is totaling the values present in A3. That is, what is value present in A3 is 7.2. Value present in A5 5.4 plus 45. He is totaling all these values and getting the result. Output is 57.6. Then A2 to A6. What he is doing here in this example, he is totaling the values of A2 up to A6. Okay. No. What is the result he is getting is 231.2. Next is the sum of A2 colon A3. He is taking the range from A2 to A3. He is taking both the values comma and again A5 to A6. He is saying A5 to A6. A5 A6 and totaling these four values and getting the result 31.2. Next he is taking the example sum of brackets open A2 colon A3 comma A5 colon A6 comma 500. So A2 A3 A5 A6 plus 500 is getting the output 531.2. Now let us go to the next slide. Now next mathematical function is sum if. Okay, we have seen first mathematical function is sum. Next mathematical function is sum if. We'll see what is sum if function. Is a worksheet function that adds all numbers in a range of cells based on one criteria. For example, is equal to 2000. Okay. Now let us see the example here. It is categorized under mathematical and trigonometrical functions. Okay, mathematical functions. Next, so example of this sum if function. What is happening here? You see, you have in A, under A column, that is A2 2000, A3 2003, A4 2000, A5 2001, A6 2000. Then you have dates, different types of dates. Then you have value. Then the criteria is 2000. He's saying criteria is 2000. He's writing the formula here in formula bar is equal to sum if A2 colon A6 comma D2 D2 is criteria is 2000. C2 colon C6. So what is the C2 colon C6 is? What is comparing? Okay. So A2 colon A6 is this one, and D2 colon C2 colon, here C2 colon C6 is 10.5 to 8.1. He is taking and getting the output criteria is 2000. Okay. To 18.6. So what he is doing, totaling of 218.6. That is criteria is 2000 is 10.5, then again 2000 is 200, and again 2000 is 8.1. So 218.6. What he is doing, criteria means condition is the year 2000 which has the corresponding value. He is taking the corresponding value of 2000 year, that is first one is 10.5, second corresponding value of 2000 is 200, third corresponding value of 2000 is 8.1, and he is totaling of all these values and getting the output to 18.6. Okay. Now let us go to the, so this is an example of, that is a sum if function, sum if mathematical function. Now let us go to the next slide, sum if s function. The Microsoft Excel SUMIF function adds all numbers in a range of cells based on a single or multiple criteria. Here, this is the syntax of SUMIF sum underscore range criteria underscore range 1 criteria 1. Okay. Now let us go to the next slide, which gives the example of SUMIF function, SUMIF function. Now here in the Excel sheet you have year 2013, 12, okay, and products oranges, bananas, apples, and cost of these products is he has given. So let us go and see what is the formula he has written on in the formula bar, equal to sum if s circle bracket open C2 colon C9, okay, A2 colon A9, comma, double quotes equal to 2013, comma, B2 colon B9, comma, double quotes equal to oranges. So he's taking the multiple conditions. Okay, multiple condition is year should be 2013, and oranges should product should be oranges. Now let us see here. Year 2013 oranges is 12.5. Again 2000 it is banana, no. 2013 oranges is 13.45. Again here no thing, no matching. Okay, so we should add 12.5 plus 13.45. So what is the output? 25.7. So this is a sum if s function. Here multiple conditions are used for generating the sum of values. There before sum if condition, only one condition, one criteria is taken, but in sum if s function multiple criteria are taken for getting the output. Okay, here students, now let us go to the next slide, is sum product. Sum product function multiplies ranges or arrays together and returns the sum of products. Now let us see here, you have a example, equal to sum product circle bracket open, then you have b5 to b9 equal to tx, that is comma c5 to c9. Okay, you have c5 to c9, count tx to, then sum tx is 275. Okay, now what is the condition he is saying is b5 to b9 it should be tx, so that there are two tx's, and c5 to c9. Okay, c5 to c9, Tx, that is 125 plus 150, that is 275. Count x Tx is 2. Tx will be, the count of Tx will be, that is how many Tx's are there? 2. It is giving the output 2 and sum of Tx 275. Now students, let us go to the next slide is round up. Round up function is in Excel always rounds a number up. Okay, it removes the decimal part of the number or rounds the values. Now let us see the next slide, the example of round down function, round up. Okay, here for example he is showing round a number up to 3 decimal places, 114.7261, 114.7262. So round up to 2 decimal places. Okay, so 114.7269 get rounded up to 114.727. See here 69 is rounded to 7. Okay, so this students, this is a round up function is used to round off the nearby value. Now let us go to the next slide, round down function. Excel round down function returns a number rounded down to a given number of places. Now, for example here, to round down values to the right of the decimal point. Okay, to round down values to the left of the decimal point, other operations is like this. Okay, round down. So this is a round down function here, where only numbers less than 5 are rounded down. The Excel round down function returns a number rounded down to a given number of places. Okay. For example, here in the Excel sheet you see 5.7899 round down, number comma number of digits. It says 0. Okay. 5.7899. A digit is 1. So he is round down to 7. That is, he removed 899. Then 5.7899, that is 2. Digits is 2. Round down 5.78. Okay. So these are the things. Now you can see here. And the last C, 27842.5 here. Now digits minus 4 he is saying. What is happening? He is removing all these numbers, 0.5, 78, that is 7842.5. Then he is getting 20,000 output. So this is the round down function. Now let us go to the next slide, ceiling math function. So Excel ceiling math function rounds a number up to a specified multiple. Unlike the ceiling function, ceiling math function math defaults to a multiple of 1 and provides explicit control over rounded direction for negative numbers. Now let us go to the next slide. That is no. There is an example which is shown on the top of the sheet, that is number is 2.25, sign nothing, mode nothing, result 3. Okay, rounded up to integer. X 2.25, sign 5. Okay, and result is 5 by near up to nearest 5. Okay, next is 610. Signature is 100, 700. Rounded up to nearest 100. Okay. Next is round toward 0 default. So these are the ceiling math functions. Now students, let us go to the next slide. The same thing is showing here in the slide. The result, that is output, we have already seen in the Excel sheet. Next is a floor function. Now next mathematical function is floor function. Is a built-in function in Excel that is categorized as math trick function. Okay, can be entered as part of what it will do. It returns a number rounded down based on a multiple of significance. Here is showing the below is diagram showing is the example of floor function. See, he's taking values a1, a2, a3, a4. Now he has written the formula bar equal to floor bracket open a1 comma 1, means he is rounding it to 1, that is 169. Okay, he is removing the decimal values floor function. Now let us let us go to the next slide. Now in this slide he is showing different types of uh, examples of floor functions. That is floor a1 comma 1 result is 169. Floor a1 comma 0.05 result is 169.65. Floor a2 comma 0.05 result 169.6. Okay, floor of a3 comma 2, when you say A3, what is A3 value? 2.98 comma 2. Then he is giving the result output is 2. Floor of A4 comma 2. What is the value of A4 here? Minus 2.98. So what is happening? The result is hash. Okay, some error is coming here. Next is floor of minus 4.5 comma minus 1. Minus 4.5 comma minus 1. The result is minus 4. So students, today in this class we have discussed about the different types of mathematical and financial functions. In detail we have seen each and every, what is the function of each and every, what is the use of each and every function with syntax and example we have discussed in this today's class. I think so all of you have uh, understood the topic, that is a different types of financial and mathematical functions. Okay, and we have seen with each and every example I have explained you. I think you have got the point. So we'll end this class here for today. Bye, bye students. Thank you.